Welcome to the first episode of SOS ID. This is our newest show under the Salt of the Streets umbrella, and at its core, it's a show about men's mental health. It's a conversational show that discusses a variety of topics related to the everyday issues that men face. We'll be touching on just about everything from alcohol and drug addiction to relationship experiences, from what it's like to serve in a combat zone overseas to dealing with issues that arise at big family gatherings, dad issues, bachelor issues, suicide, divorce, child custody, dealing with the death of loved ones. This show will cover the whole gamut. We call the show SOS ID for a reason, the concept being that we are here to identify issues that we as men deal with and struggle through in hopes of creating a space to manage them in a healthy manner before it's time to throw up an SOS alarm. In this episode, the first episode of SOS ID, it's something I'm calling it a family episode. Instead of having a guest on this one, it's just Donovan and I. Today, we talk about a multitude of issues related to and around the holiday season. Trials and tribulations related to concentrated family time, especially when you combine parents, grandparents, kids, and siblings all in one single house on a family vacation. Gift giving, cooking holiday meals, and the politics of families, both new and old. While many of us spend time with family and loved ones during the holiday season, the reality of life means that from time to time, some of those family members and loved ones pass away. We discuss what it's like to go through that and what it's like to lose a parent. Donovan, for the first time, surprisingly, opens me up, and we discuss the death of my father, followed by how one of his best friends is dealing with the death of his own father and how that process is going up to now. Donovan opens up about what it's like to choose to not associate with his own side of the family anymore and how that affected his holiday season and overall his life in general. We hope that through these discussions, you might be able to find a little bit of kindred spiritness, if you will, if that's a term, and might be able to take something from our experiences, or as we go forward, the experiences that we have with our guests. And now, without any further ado, episode 1 of SOS ID.
So there was some stuff from the vacation that I think is worth talking about. There was like...
Well, being packed in with a bunch of family like that, there has to be.
Right. Sometimes it was difficult to like fully enjoy myself, right? To be... like really relaxed. There was it's worth mentioning we're with Jordan's family, right? We weren't with any of my family. We're with Jordan's family, with her mom and her stepdad, and her grandma was there, and their sister and our brother-in-law Michael, and then their kids and our kids. So yeah, it was a packed house, but it
Lots
like
of chaos.
It wasn't like that bad, you know.
Okay.
The kids are crazy because they're 5 and
kids.
4 and 3 and 1. Like that's just how that's going to be.
I had enough chaos dealing with 4 dogs. Okay.
Yeah, but there's like always times when it's feeling like somebody doesn't want to be there. You know, somebody like would rather be somewhere else. And I understand that to
As
an
far
extent.
as like the adults specifically?
Like, yes, yeah. That they just would rather be doing something else. You know, part of it is like Jordan's stepdad is like constantly on his phone, like the entire fucking time. The whole entire time he's on his phone. When we're all sitting together, we did a 1,000-piece puzzle, crusted a 1,000-piece puzzle in 3 days, finished on my birthday.
It.
Oh man, there was like cookies on there. It was a Christmas one. So there was cookies on there, candy canes, all these little peppermint candies. It was very difficult. I was very pleased. A big pie in the corner. Merry Christmas. It was awesome. I got a picture of it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great. So we're doing that and we're playing games and shit. And he's like just sitting on his phone, you know, like while we're doing like family things. What are you doing? Why are you? We're here for a week to like the whole point of this, you know, is like Jordan's sister and our brother-in-law are from California with their kids. Like they don't live here anymore.
Yeah.
We're spending a week together for Christmas, and you're just constantly doing your own thing, disassociating from what's going on to like be on your phone. Whatever. People, you know, have their own. Just dealing with their own things. Everybody's dealing with their own stuff, you know. But the whole point of this was for us to like hang out and be together.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. We didn't really do presents. It's a time thing.
Yeah.
You know, that
because
was
we're all there to spend quality time together for Christmas.
the whole point of the investment.
Yeah.
So when you're doing this, like it very much feels like you don't want to be here. You would rather be doing something else, you know?
Participate a little bit, bro.
Yes. Yeah. And Michael and Ann were sick on and off. Like he was sick when we first got there, and then she was sick when we were leaving. So that's definitely part of it. You know, they're uncomfortable generally. But there's like the 2 days before they're leaving, you know, Michael's just tense the entire time. He's like, I'm prepping to go. I got to work a drive to California and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. I got to pack this. I got to pack this, everything, this, blah, blah, blah. And like, I understand to a certain extent that you like have to travel and stuff. The same deal. We're trying to fucking chill and like hang out. You know, we got 2 more days. Like, let's fucking hang out.
Yeah, like maybe the day before is acceptable.
Yeah, the drive. Okay, when we were planning this, we offered, we'll find somewhere in Northern California or like Southern Oregon that's halfway, and we'll all drive 10 hours and we'll call it a day. And he was like, this was when they were still living here, you know, so they're not, I'm not sure about this or blah, blah, blah. No, don't worry about it. Just make it up there and we'll just make the drive. We'll make the drive. Asked him a bunch of times.
So they drove from California?
Yes, by choice. We offered to not have you do that, to meet in the middle where we would all drive 10 hours and then we would all have the same amount of shittiness that we're dealing with. Yeah. Instead, you're complaining about the drive when we tried to get you to not do that. I sympathize that your drive is unfortunate. You have 2 children. Your wife is sick now. Yep. It is going to suck. Yeah. We offered for you to not do this.
Yes.
I don't want to hear you complain when we offered to not have you fucking drive 20 hours.
And you chose to do that. You made a choice. I'm sorry you might be regretting that.
What do you want from me? Yep. You know? And I think...
Don't make it everybody else's problem.
Like the 26th or something, you know, we're sitting down after the kids go down and we're like, Jordan's like, so what do you think? You know, everybody like, will we do this again? You know, whatever. And Michael's like, oh, the drive fucking killed us. Well, we fucking offered to not do that. Like, we tried to get you to not do that. But now this is the thing. We can't do this, blah, blah, blah. You did it. You gave zero input on the location, on the building, on the separation, on anything. Yeah. You told Jordan to figure it out. And this is what it's done. That's what everybody said, is Jordan figure it out. If you find a place, we'll all be cool with it. So shut the fuck up then. You don't get to then bitch about the accommodations, about how we're all in the same place, about how we're all anything, because you chose, you fucking abdicated any responsibility, any choice from that at all by putting that on Jordan. Yep. So she picked a place that she thinks works well, and it did work well. It was great. You chose this. I don't want to listen to you complain. Man to man, I don't want to listen to you complain when I tried to not have you do this.
Yeah. That's a fucking grow up moment, dude.
At the same time, I'm only going to ask you so many times, are you sure that you're willing to make the drive? I'm not going to pester you about it. I'm not. I'm going to ask you 3 times maybe. And if you say yes every time, I'm going to expect that you're being honest, and I'm going to take you at your word. Yep. If you're choosing to be dishonest, I can't do anything about that, and I'm not going to involve myself with that situation. I'm not going to involve my emotions in it when you were dishonest. I don't care then.
That's not good. And there's always that, like, it's like a guilt trip thing too. It's like, you know, we did all this, and I'm going to do this so that I have something to bitch about. That's not a good look, man. I feel like that happens to a lot of people, especially during the holidays, because there's this weird obligation thing, and people have a hard time saying no. Yes. When they should just say, no, I'm not into this. Right. But if you go along with it and you agree to things, and then you just offload all the responsibility to somebody else to make the decisions for you, and then you just have to go, yeah, I'm going to do that. Or no, I don't think I want to do that. Right. Then you have to fucking man up and just deal with it, man, and then try to live in the moment and have a good time. It doesn't do anybody any good to sit there and bitch the whole time.
And even in like in that conversation of like, would we do this again? You know, it takes like coaxing and like a lot of conversation for it to come to a point of like, yeah, we might do it again if the accommodations were different and like if this. But the first thing is like, no, I'm not going to do it again. So you just don't want to have our kids spend any more Christmases together until we happen to live in the same place. That's what you don't want to find to try a way to make this work for. Fuck us adults. You don't want our kids, the only cousins they have, you don't want them to try and spend Christmases together while they're young, because you fucking didn't want to be involved in the planning to begin with. Or take a fucking breath and let's have a reasonable discussion about the things that you would like to see in next Christmas vacation. Yeah. I would like it where we met in the middle, and we maybe had things where we were in like an apartment complex or something. Like that's a thing. That
is some condos or something like that.
These are all reasonable points to be brought up in a conversation next time. Totally reasonable. In this exact conversation that Jordan has created the space for. Instead, you're like, no, the fucking drive killed us. Okay. then we'll just move from there, you know?
Dude,
And
I'm
it's like-
frustrated hearing about
and
this.
it's kind of hard because I love Michael. He's not a dick. He's not a shitty person. I don't even think that he would like do the thing, you know, where he's trying to like have a thing to complain about. But I just don't, I think that in the stress of all the other stuff that they were doing, he didn't want to think about it, which I 1,000% understand. You have to eat shit on the back end if you don't like what happens. And the times when I told Jordan, I don't fucking care, I don't want anything to do with it, I cannot bitch afterwards.
No.
It doesn't work that way. So I don't want to hear you bitch now. I don't want it. You know?
Dude. Totally out of place.
Yeah.
That's just not cool. That's just not cool at all.
I just don't appreciate. I don't know. It sounds like a silly thing, but
It's not a silly thing.
I just didn't like it. Like
It's bad energy to be around.
yes, and
You're all there together to try to have a good time and spend some quality time together. And if you're always having a fucking somebody that's just always going to have a chip on their shoulder because of the fact that they're there.
There was just a lot of weird stuff that to me boiled down to like people being unwilling to be clear and like honest with what they want, with their desires or their intentions. You know, there was like confusions with laundry and like this is gonna sound very, very minute, but it's a thing that was stacked on other stuff. You know,
Motherfuckers living together for a week. There's all those little things are going to happen.
At a certain point, like 2 days in, I'm like, yo, I'm going to start doing laundry. Like, so I'm just going to start running laundry. So anything that needs to be washed, fucking toss it in front of the washer.
Especially with the kids, man.
I'm just going to start running loads of laundry, right? And so Tori's sister's like, well, you know, you don't have to do a laundry. You don't have to work. Like, I don't care. I don't want to do it. Like, I'm just telling you, I am doing laundry. So if you would like things washed or dirty things that are there, they can be placed there.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So their stuff ends up down there. I don't know if I don't know how it ends up, right? But the things are in there. And then the next day, I'm folding laundry on the table when she gets up. She's like, well, you don't have to fold her clothes. You don't have to whatever. I'm like, again,
it's fine, bro.
I don't care.
I'm just doing laundry.
I said I'm doing laundry. I don't care. I'm not doing this because I really want to do your laundry.
Yeah.
I'm doing it because we're all in a house together. There's only one set of washer and dryer. I also need shit that's done, but I don't want to not allow somebody else to have things washed if they need. There's towels. There's all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't care. If you would rather it be separate, I
so
also
frustrating.
don't care, and you can just say that. Like, I don't care. If you say that, I would rather I'll just do it.
Yeah.
That's also fine. Tell me when you want to do it, or I'll tell you when the washer's open, and we'll move from there.
Yeah.
You know? But if
There's
you're
a
going to
real easy process to set up a quick system if you want to.
Things, you know, of like uncomfortability with it, you know? And again, you're an adult. I'm not going to continue to fucking ask you, are you okay with this? Do you want me to do this? Would you rather do it by yourself? You're not my wife. I'm not going to put in like that extra effort to make sure to really ensure that your needs or your desires and that your emotions are being accommodated in like a day-to-day task like this.
No, man,
you know,
it's not my job.
If you have a preference, you are an adult and can say that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, no, just let me do all of the laundry. Why would I do that? Because I need to do the laundry in the house? I don't want to do your laundry. I don't care.
Like, fuck you for trying to be a helpful dude. Be like, hey, man, I'm doing some laundry. Like, feel free to throw some in if you want.
She wasn't being a dick about it, but it was just weird. Like, continued weird conversations. That's like, seems like you would rather something different be happening, but you're not saying that.
Kind of passive-aggressive-y type of thing. You know?
And so I don't understand why you wouldn't, especially on such a silly thing like fucking laundry, why you wouldn't just say, I would rather just do our own.
Yeah.
Totally fine. I don't care. I really don't, you know? It just was very weird, you know?
Yeah, and it's you paint a very easy picture to understand. Like that could be roommate problems of any kind, really.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's like, and all of these just need to be, it's like, well, can you just say out loud what you're thinking right now?
Yes.
And then we'll be on the same page.
Yes.
Same page
It
club,
was
done.
weird. It's just like benign uncomfortability that, you know, like I would start to chill and then like go to load laundry and be like, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
Like, do you want me to be doing something different? I can't. I don't
vibes right now. Like,
I don't
I'm doing
have the
something wrong
social
here.
skills to try and interpret what you want. I need you to tell me because I can't do it. I don't. The show, my life has proven out. I can't do it. I need you to tell me what you need from me, and I will get it done. Yeah. But I can't.
I need open communication here.
You can't.
Oh.
The hints and the symbols, they don't work for me. I don't pick up on them. It doesn't work that way. I'm retarded. Okay? I need help. So like I said, nothing serious, nothing that like, but just weird, you know. And then
it's hard to be, because then it kind of keeps you on edge all the time.
Yes.
That's not a good spot to be.
Because then I don't know, is there other shit that you would rather be being different, but you're also not saying anything? You know, I don't know. I don't.
Or you might start reading hard into the subtext and be like, well, was she pissed off about
again,
this now?
Did
I do something wrong here?
I will do things like that. Like, that is how my brain works, is I will start to... That's how you end up with no friends in high school. You're like, well, everyone hates me because I do weird shit. And then you just stop talking to people because you think that everyone hates you already. I'll do it. I don't fucking threaten me with a good time. I will do it. I will isolate myself. I don't talk to my mom. I will isolate myself from my own family. Don't fucking tempt me with a good time.
Don't tempt me.
So it's just weird, you know? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I feel that, buddy. That's tough. That is so awkward.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it'll be interesting because like I said, I have that trip coming up, and I've never, like, we spent a lot of time together as like these various groups and stuff like that, but to cohabitate in a condo, and I mean, it's not that long of a period, but the two people we're staying with, I know, I love this girl like a sister. She's not quite a year older than me. She's a great person, but I just know that there's going to be things I can that are probably going to come up, and I am probably thanks to like doing the show and knowing you and stuff like that. I require open communication.
Yes.
I don't do good, like I don't like subtext or hints or clues or like silent treatment. Bad situation for me. That's bad. That's spiral town. That's bad news, and then it's just gonna blow up for everybody.
Yes.
I'm gonna unlatch that grenade, dude, and it's gonna go off at some point. So like, I'm a little worried about spending a lot more time, a lot more continuous time with a lot of these people as we go forward, and because we're starting to plan out tons of trips throughout the summer and all this stuff, and a lot of big activities that we're gonna require, that are multiple night types of situations.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, we're all taking the next step in our relationships, and those are the kind of things that I am slightly concerned about.
Yeah.
Because there's a few of my people that I know, they know that I require, like, if there's something on your mind, if I said something, or if I'm doing something, like, you just need to tell me,
right?
And then it'll be fine. And
a couple people know. I'm just going to keep operating.
Exactly. Things are just going to keep going the way I would go. But man, I do not envy that situation, being in your situation like that. Was it at least not? I mean, because Michael and Ed have been gone for a while. They left back. I mean, it was summertime, right?
Yeah, in like June or something.
Yeah.
Or something like that. They've been gone for a while. It was great to see them.
Nice to see them.
It was great to see them. I don't want to at all make it sound like it wasn't a good time, because I did have a good time. It was.
Did it look like the kids missed each other?
Yes.
Yeah.
The boys started getting after each other. The children slept like garbage, so that adds to everything. Our kids always sleep bad when we travel. That's the thing. Dax is a hard time. Normal. Yeah. Dax is a hard time sleeping not at home. Mm-hmm. So he was up a lot at night and then up early in the morning.
Not a lot of sleep for daddy.
No, vacation daddy, as I call it. Yes, Dax said something about calling him Vacation Dax like a few days before we left. He said something about calling him Vacation Dax while we were gone, and then we're like, okay, then I could be Vacation Daddy and Vacation Mommy and Vacation Reason. He was like, yeah, for sure.
That's it.
So yeah, several times over the weekend, I drank every day. That was a Vacation Daddy thing. Starting every day with a mimosa. Yeah, like, we have a mimosa. I said Vacation Daddy. I don't know anything about that. Dude. Vacation Daddy is having a mimosa right now for sure.
That's right.
Last day, mimosas all day, Vacation Daddy.
Let's go.
Yeah, sledding outside. There was like a big pile from them pushing snow, in this neighborhood. So one that was probably as tall as I am, and I carved a gnarly sled slope out of one side of it, and I hit that, and it's Vacation Daddy! It's all kinds of stuff, yeah.
That's fucking awesome,
There was
dude.
we had dinner early one night, and so we had like an hour and a half before bed, and the kids were just fucking being whores, And I leaned into the kitchen, and I was like, I'm kind of thinking that we should maybe put a movie on. And, like, Dax doesn't usually watch TV after bed. It just keeps him awake. It's not good for the simulation and stuff. And Jordan was like, yeah, you think so? And I was like, Vacation Daddy thinks that maybe a movie might help.
But did it? That's the real question.
We watched some Paw Patrol. Was chill that night.
Nice. Yeah. Man.
was good.
That's good.
Vacation Daddy.
Dude, that's awesome.
Vacation Daddy isn't perfect because someone complained about me leaving my pants everywhere. That like we're playing outside, right? So
you're
have
soaking wet and shit.
Well, so I have like thermal pants on and then I have like jeans on or whatever over top of it. And so like I would take those jeans off and put on shorts or something.
I'll be tracking all that wet, the melting snow through their house.
Or like I'm going to play in the snow right now, but when I'm done, we're going to get ready to go. So I'm going to grab these other jeans and put those down here that I'm going to change into. So they're sitting out for when I come back inside. They're on the table because the bathrooms are downstairs and I'm just going to grab them and change and then we'll move on, right?
I just love, okay.
So it all makes sense, but I also understand how people would be like, why does the guy have fucking pants all over the house?
Because Vacation Daddy.
Vacation Daddy, that's how he lives his life, So I guess someone said that to Jordan and then she was like, yeah, someone mentioned about like, hey, you have pants everywhere. And I was like, on it. I'm not fucking leaving pants anywhere anymore. So I had them hanging up, but they weren't laying down anymore. They were hanging up. It was like a big ass mud room.
See, open communication. That's required. I got to know that I'm leaving my pants everywhere.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it. That's how I live my life.
Exactly.
I fucking come home, take my pants off. I just put them wherever. And like,
do you take your pants off like when you walk in the door?
Pretty close afterwards. Yeah.
You ever seen the show The Goldbergs?
Yes.
That's, how like the dad, he just comes in and he always wears like the whitey tighties, but like he just comes in and just drops his pants. I'm home now. Nobody talk to me.
I pretty much get like 5 minutes when I get home. We try and establish 5 minutes so I can like take my gun off and like take my shit out of my pockets and go and put some shorts on. So it's within 5 minutes.
You just have to undress and get into your house clothes.
I need a slight transition until I can, But I mean, because the moment I open the door, daddy, which is great. I'm not complaining about that. That's fantastic. But also,
there's logistics to handle.
I have a backpack on, I have a gun on, I have a lunch bag, I have things. I always shit in my arms. And Dax was like, "What did you bring for me today?" And I'm like, "Nothing. There's nothing. There's no treats today. I did not bring a treat today. If I do it every day, it's not special. Also, I'm your dad and I'm home. Fuck off with the treat." But he's 5, so it's fine.
I'm sorry. That's hilarious. Your life is a sitcom. You just don't know it yet. Although you might be recognizing it more and more every day.
Daddy's feelings will matter in a few years. Then they will matter.
Probably like another 13.
Whenever it happens, it happens, and I'll accept it.
My parents didn't become real people until I was my own adult.
Yeah.
And didn't live at the house anymore. And I was like, oh, you guys actually have like thoughts and feelings, and like you feel things and think things and you make decisions and you're doing stuff. Other than that, no, that was just mom and dad. They just played their roles. Anything outside of that was, vacation dad. Right. Vacation mom, all she does is sit on the couch and read books 24/7.
Yeah.
Vacation dad, not around. He just goes out and plays golf the entire time. Sometimes we get to go along and ride in the cart. But that's it. Vacation mom, vacation dad, 2 different people. Yeah. 2 very different people that we grew up with. That is hilarious to hear your experience for the first time. I don't even know why I didn't even think about that, because like obviously it's going to happen, especially when you're packed in a house with all the rest of your family like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, shit's going to go wild.
Yeah. But it was a good...
What kind of games you guys play?
Most of the like what they call it, Cards Against Humanity, and a bunch of those variants, which
there's only like 5,000 different. You could just pick a genre you like, and there's a Cards Against Humanity version of it.
You'll know how difficult this was for me. You'll understand how difficult this was for me. The week before we left for vacation, in the episode of Tell 'em Steve Dave, they had a whole conversation about how Cards Against Humanity and all these variants are for people who think that they're funny, because they're all like everything is already made for you. All the punchlines are already made. All everything. Like
you just have to build them and not fuck it up.
You're not being creative by matching one with the other. That is, you're not being funny. It isn't being creative, right? So I kept this to myself all week. I never mentioned this to anybody. I never once complained about like, I don't want to play this game because they fucking aren't funny. Like, I don't like these games. I just play the games. The first 3 days, I crushed that puzzle. I was like, I'm puzzling right now. I'm Vacation Daddy's on the puzzle. I'm not trying to cards. Like, I would play cards while I was doing the puzzle, but I was very focused on the puzzle. That was a huge... I didn't really know that I fuck with puzzles like that, but once we started going, I was like, oh, I'm into this. Like, this is real. Yeah.
Get more and more dad mode every day, dude.
So stupid. Starting every day reading about fucking Meriwether Lewis and
playing puzzles.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you sure you're not older than me? Because I'm pretty sure at this point you're about 45.
I think the core might be. Definitely the core.
Yeah, it's there.
There's one more, the parental aspect, right? Because of course, I didn't hear from either of my parents
Indeed.
on either of the days, which is not like an active thing. But I don't know exactly why. I was definitely emotional on my birthday and on Christmas. I cried both of those days. I don't know why. I felt sad. You know what I'm saying? Just like in general.
Was there something like triggered it at the time, or was it randomly? Just
I don't think so. Like I know on my birthday, there was tension with like Leif was gonna leave. Katie and Leif were leaving on Christmas to go and see Leif's parents, and they were gonna drive 2 hours and 2.5 hours or whatever to Port Orchard, and then drive back the same day.
Whoa.
It was a whole deal. So there was a lot of like the grandchildren would maybe rather have grandma here. And so
that kind of seems like counterintuitive.
there's a lot of, I don't want to speak for other people. Katie and Leif have their own things that are going on that,
As everybody does,
leach into other stuff because they're unresolved, because it's actively going on, you know? And so sometimes like they are unpleasant to be around for one reason or another, and that Leif sometimes more in particular than Katie, because I think she's better about like keeping the appearance up, you know, even if she isn't happy, about like still presenting happy, you know. And Leif is still doing that thing, same like disassociating all the time, saying like on his phone and all that, so you just can feel it, like you can feel, you know, that like it's like an energy drain, you know.
for sure.
And so it just was like, especially on my birthday and on Christmas, I was like, I just don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to be around this. If like this negativity is gonna, and it wasn't like
I'm here to have a good time.
It's not like he's not saying like negative shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? When you talk to him, like he's happy, like he's upbeat, but it's like an air about him. You know?
Yeah.
That's
I
like,
mean, you could tell if somebody's being like an active participant in the situation.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
the difference between spending time together and spending quality time together is very, very different.
And I just don't. Those days in particular, like I didn't want to do that. You know, this is my birthday. I don't want to do that. Like this isn't really. I was happy to be there, but like this isn't really what I want to be doing anyway. You know, if I had my choice of things of like what I could do on my birthday, I would be hanging out with Cody and Trenton. That's what I want to do on my birthday.
Yeah.
Obviously, hang out with my fucking children and my wife, but like. Of outside of the ordinary things, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, Trenton lives in Texas. Cody goes to Oregon every year for Christmas. These are things I understand that I'm not upset about, but this is like,
It's not what you want to do.
that's what I want to be doing.
Yep.
You know, and there's a certain level of, this sounds shitty, but it is. Jordan had a conversation. It's fine. Like a certain level of sacrifice on my part. That's like, this is my birthday, and this is shit that like this isn't necessarily what I want to be doing, but because it's next to Christmas and the holiday that we're doing it on, this is a thing that is fine.
Well, I mean, you have the worst birthday.
It's up there.
It's a thing. It's definitely up there. You know, Christmas Eve birthday is a tough one, and it's got to be. You have to live your whole fucking life that way because everybody's always got shit going on at Christmas. I mean, so that totally makes sense.
So the whole deal was just weird. You know, the morning was uncomfortable. People are sick. They're like, the tense about leaving the next day, and people are confused about, like, we all didn't even know. We thought that they weren't leaving on Christmas until the night before, like until Christmas Eve or whatever. We didn't think they were leaving until like, oh yeah, and tomorrow we're leaving from this time to this time or whatever. So just a lot of weirdness around it, you know? And so
Gotta get farther out next time and make sure that's not even an option.
I didn't go to the bar or anything. Didn't watch any football. Jordan and I ended up getting a little bit of solo time together in the afternoon, like going to get some food and like doing a little bit of shopping and stuff, you know.
That's nice.
So it was all fine. It just was a weird, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
Weirdness.
Yeah.
Because, well, I mean, there's so many obligations at that point that you don't really have a lot of wiggle room to do your own thing. But
because people were trying to say that, they're like, oh, if you want to go to the bar, if you want to whatever, like, you're sick, you're on the way to sick, both of your kids are sick, you're fucking stressed about leaving, you're stressed about him leaving.
Yeah.
I don't want to go and do anything with any of you guys. That doesn't sound fun. You're all focused on other shit, which is fine. I'm not like, I don't take that personally, but it's my birthday, and I don't want to spend my personal time of what do I want to do with you when you're doing other shit mentally. You know, I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in that.
because then you gotta carry around that burden too.
Yes.
Like, okay, so even if I do go out, I drop the kids off with them, and they have to take care of them or whatever. It's like, yeah, they offered, but it's like, yeah, we're gonna offer to do this, but we don't really want to.
Right.
But it's your birthday, so we feel obligated to help you.
And you're sick, you don't want to drink, but if I want to go to the bar, you'll go and you're like, have a beer because I want to drink. If you're going to be uncomfortable, I'm never going to feel like I owe you something for doing that because it's a choice that you made, but I don't want to be doing something with you that you don't want to be doing.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that. That's not fun for me, for you to not enjoy the experience. You
No,
know?
I want everybody to be present and having a good time and what we're doing.
It's like if Jordan hated guns and I was like, I just really want you to go shooting with me. Why? You're going to fucking hate it the whole time.
Yeah.
Why would I want you to go?
I'm not going to have fun because you're not going to have fun.
That's going to suck.
Yes.
Why would I want to do that? Why do I want to go to the bar to like drink beer and fucking bullshit about football and nonsense and complain about things if you don't feel good, you know?
Yeah.
Again, I don't take that personally.
No, it's just a reality.
Just do you. Like
Yeah.
don't put it on me that I need to put you out because it's my day. Like I don't want to do that, you know?
No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It's a weird dynamic, and I don't know how much sense that makes, but I just wasn't interested in that. And I don't like on a day that's supposed to be totally about me, I don't want to be worried about anybody else.
No.
You know? That's
Or the
Jordan,
consequences of what happens when you're being yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I told Jordan after I cried, I was like, I just don't want to I don't want to worry about anything today. That's what I want to do. It's like I just don't want to have to worry about shit. I don't want to have to think about things, you know? So
that's usually the standard thing you want for your birthday. It's like, I just want to do my shit, not worry about shit, and have a good time.
Yes.
It's about as much as anybody can ask for, to be honest. That's all you really need in life.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. So there's a lot of pluses and minuses to this thing you guys did.
Yeah, I had a great time. So, like I said, I don't want it to sound like I don't, but this show is also about
the reality of the situation.
So these are the things that I thought about a lot while I was over there. But I had a really good time. Dax had a great time. We played in the snow at times. We had a lot of fun doing that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had a great time. It worked.
Yeah, when I talked to Dax when I got here, he loved it. You could tell. He had a blast.
Yeah, he had a very good time.
That's good.
We did like a second Christmas we got back because we didn't. The gifts thing got fucked up, you know. Like, now we're going to do gifts, and then, of course, there's a fucking ton of gifts there. We're like, well, we didn't fucking buy shit.
I hate it when fucking people do that, dude.
Yeah, so, it was just a whole deal. So we did second Christmas we got back. And there's also partially because there's this remote control Wally that he's going to show you before we leave.
Oh, yeah, he was jazzed on it.
Yeah, he found it at the store months ago, maybe even a year ago, like a long time ago, and I think it was a Target, you know, and he would see it, and every time we go there, he would talk about it. So we didn't fucking think about it forever. It's been a long time since we talked about it, since we're at Target. We're writing the letter to Santa, and he's like, Santa, I really want a remote control Wally. And Jordan and I both looked at each other, and we're like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You have to be kidding me that he's this fucking specific about the thing that he wants. And of course, we didn't buy this thing before we went there because we didn't fucking think about it.
Yeah, because we're not doing presents.
Yes, so we totally remote control Wally'd when we got back. We were like, oh yeah, you know, and like we wrote a reply letter from Santa to all the children, and that's like, also we know you traveled, so we didn't want you to have to bring too much shit home with you. So there's more shit at your house. Don't worry about it. So and we had to really finagle the parenthood out of this one because on the way home we were like, okay, how are we gonna do this? Like, do you want me to go to the store tonight? Are we gonna like put them down by the furnace because we don't have a fireplace, but we have a chimney? And we'll be like, oh, we didn't know where they were. Or maybe he got confused because we don't have a fireplace, so we left him down by the furnace, you know. And so we walked. It was bad. So we walked in the door, and there is ornament that is a key that is supposed to be like a key for Santa, right? That we got when we lived in the basement because we didn't have a chimney. And how does Santa get in your house? We don't have a chimney, so there's a key we hang on the door. He can use this key to get in the house, and then he can leave the presents. So it's sitting on the floor when we walk in the living room, and Jordan's like, oh my God. Because he walk in and Dax is like, where are the presents? You know, like the presents are not here. What happened? And Jordan's like, we have to look for them. Like, I don't know, maybe got confused or whatever. And then they see the key on the floor, and she's like, oh my God, buddy, I figured it out. We forgot to leave the key on the door for Santa, and that's why the presents are not here. Dude. So what we'll do is we'll put it on the door, and we'll fucking fire off a text message to Santa because he's not as busy now because Christmas is over. He has more time. He can respond to a message, or he can like at least receive a message. So they sent a text message. I think she changed like a contact in her phone to Santa and like text like her mom or something, you know?
So that is, dude, that's next level. That is exponential. That's 4D chess style, man.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was.
That's fucking killer.
Some serious work at the end.
Yes.
Yeah. So the night that we got back, we like bought the wood or the Wally online because there was only 3 left fucking in existence.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought one online to pick up at Target, and then she went to Target and bought some other shit, and then wrapped him when she got home.
Dude, that's nuts.
Ninja parent.
Yeah, that's like expert level ninja, dude. Legendary level ninja. Okay, that's nuts. I didn't really have any. I have almost nothing to relate to any of these stories right now, other than like other past experiences. But yeah, because I mean, the Christmas thing is always, holidays in general are always relatively. I don't want to say stressful, might be the wrong word. Like there's some stress involved, but it's a different kind of thing. It's like some anxiety about stuff. I'm always the cook dude, so I always gotta worry about meals and all this. But again,
I think they are stressful in general.
Yeah.
For like the osmosis effect, you know.
Yes.
That, for the same deal as I was talking about the house, that like, so everybody is stressed. So even if you don't have things to worry about and like your holidays are chill, if you spend time in the community, the traffic is bad, the people are tense, they're not like, it's not chill like it should be. You know, we talk about this for the last 10 years, the next 900 years, right? Christmas is not what it should be. No. It's very, very tense. It's very commercialized. It's not about any of the things. The whole reason that we try to not do presents and do a family Christmas and then it turns into like 9 million presents. This is the problem with.
That's a bad move, dude.
The problem with America's Christmas is
yes.
that it can't be about the thing it's supposed to be about.
Yes.
Not fucking presents, about living together and being together and like
yes.
appreciating the life and love and all the things.
Yes.
Right? That's the whole idea.
It's what all the Christmas movies are about.
Yes.
Every single one of them.
It's not about the gifts, it's about this. But
yes.
for some reason, we all still can't get the fucking message, you know.
At the end of the day, the Grinch still comes back and everybody gets their fucking presents.
So I think it's an osmosis thing. Even if like you don't have shit to be stressed
Society's
about.
got to change, bud.
Yeah, if you spend time in the community, you pick up that stress and the tension from just being around it.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's uncomfortable.
I dodged a lot of it this year because I was out the entire week before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, the week of Christmas, whenever, I don't even know. I lost track of all days and everything. It was wild. But like the Christmas Eve thing was a little tense for a second, just because I had to go from one location to the other location. Like I bought all the food, which I got money from people, which was nice, so I didn't have to go broke just buying dinner. My brother Aaron happened into a 9.5 pound fucking prime rib. And I was gonna do a lamb roast or like racks of lamb.
Right?
Oh,
with
buddy.
the little crowns, and I remember.
Yeah, but I didn't do the crown style. I said, "Fuck it, I'm not going that hardcore. I'm just gonna cook these things like I know how to cook them." And then it was money. But yeah, his girlfriend ended up coming by because she was like going to the Point Casino to play bingo one night. So we just did a handoff the day before. So I had this beautiful ass prime rib, which I definitely overcooked and fucked everything up. But it's fine because my rack of lamb, that's what I was there for, was perfect. It was like the nice, rare, beautiful, fucking just pink everywhere. It was phenomenal. But yeah, so we did prime rib and lamb. But I'm skipping ahead. Started out, I went and got all the groceries and stuff a couple days before or whatever, day before, I think. And then just kept it at my mom's place because that's where I was staying the whole time. And then I was smart, kept them all in the grocery bag, so it was just grab them and go. And then Erin was also making a couple sides and stuff like that, and she was going to prep that beforehand, so it was just warm it up and go.
What did she make?
She made these French onion, or not French onion, but like a caramelized onion, cheesy mashed potatoes, and cheesecakes. Phenomenal baker.
Nice.
It's pretty fantastic.
Oh, right.
Yeah, dude, this cheesecake
does numbers
was
now, but is a baker by trade.
Yeah. Well,
Gets numbers by trade now.
Numbers
right?
by trade?
Because she works at like a fucking.
She works at an architect firm.
Yeah, numbers.
Yeah.
Numbers
but
and shapes.
Her whole family are. Yeah, it's all.
It's numbers and shapes.
We do. We do arts and crafts. She does numbers and shapes. That's fine. But
it's fucking Lincoln Logs as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Had to make a couple of cheesecakes because the following day we were going over to her parents' place for Christmas, and that's a big cooking extravaganza, big ass giant party, and all this.
What
the
kind of
polar opposite. So regular cheesecake with gluten-free crust, gluten-free graham crackers, which were they got a bite to it, which is way better than the standard graham cracker, which I like. But then she made this raspberry reduction sauce to go over it, and it was insane. Blew my fucking mind. It was fantastic. And then a bunch of bacon-wrapped figs, half of which were stuffed with goat cheese. Oh, dude. And then a little balsamic glaze on top of that.
I love me some goat cheese, bro.
Go, dude. Oh,
love
dude.
Me some goat cheese.
You had sweet, savory, and a little salty. It was like the best because you had the bacon, you had the fig, which is nice and sweet, right? And it bakes up real nice, real soft, real like it's a mild sweetness, and then the goat cheese on there with the balsamic on top was just, it's all the worlds. Right there. It was so fucking good.
It's like the baked brie with the jam on top. You know what I'm saying? With the phyllo dough.
Dude, that's problematic. So good. Somebody else was talking about Chad was talking about baked brie.
Love that shit.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, so I just got up in the morning. We handled all the medicine stuff, took care of the horses and the rest of the dogs. And I'm like, I'm leaving all the dogs here because I'm going to come back tonight anyways. And I need as little chaos around this as possible.
Yeah.
So we left the dogs, went over to my house, kind of did a little clean because I hadn't been there for a minute. There was 0 Christmas decorations up because, again, haven't been there. And because I would just swing by and like check on the cat every couple days. And she was
Cat's
elated.
a dick anyway.
Well, she was, dude. Me and her are like super tight now.
Good.
Because we used to spend tons of time together. So she was elated to have all these people around, and she was very, very good that day, which was nice. But yeah, then brought over all the groceries, and we all agreed to do like a white elephant thing. That's just the easiest.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the problem of, no, we're not doing presents this year.
Right.
Because somebody inevitably fucks up, and then everybody else feels bad. You just can't get around that. So then you decide on the white elephant, and that way everybody actually has something, and then there's no extra gifts, which is really nice. We did decide. Me and Aaron, things are so new that we're not going to get each other presents. But then, but she,
of course you do.
Thank God, she told me like a week out. She's like, "Well, I know we said this, but I did, so I just want you to know that."
Right.
I'm like, okay, so I got time to move around, and I was able to close the deal on something. Yeah, and then
what did you guys get each other? Let's hear it.
Okay, so this water bottle.
Okay.
Because my Nalgene is always like growing stuff in it.
Always.
And she does not appreciate that. Right. So she got me a brand new thing, and you can take the top off, so you can
refill and ice.
And got me a bottle brush. So I can use it on my Nalgene.
Because I know you prefer the narrower mouth on.
Yeah, man.
That's what you like your.
You can't
Nalgene.
be drinking out of the giant mouth when you're driving.
That's
you can't
true.
be doing that. I drink a lot of water when I'm driving.
That's true.
And so this is like
Nalgene goes everywhere with you.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And now this is as well.
And the Yetis are like,
dude.
I didn't realize how clutch they were until we got these. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I use this every single day, and it's almost solely a Lotus cup now.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the only thing that ever goes in it is Lotus, but it's perfect for that.
Dude,
it keeps my Lotus cold all day.
And I also got how did I get that? I think that was from I'll get there, but I also have another Yeti cup too. But yeah, I got that, the bottle brush, and then she got me a total, it's like a pretty top tier interior detailing for the truck from a homie that does detailing stuff like that, because the inside of my truck is filthy.
I bet
it's a thing. There's pine needles. It's a whole jam.
Yeah.
So she always gives me shit about it. So she got that, and then I ended up getting. I told her it was a shared gift, and I got us a weekend at a cabin outside of Mount Rainier in March.
Nice.
Yeah, scheduled that out. Made sure it's in between weekends and shows and shit like that. Nice. So that was really nice. But her parents on Christmas Day, because we're going to be over there, she said, I don't know how you feel about it, but like you can her mom's asking like, is he going to buy us a present or something like that or not? And like, what do we do? And she's like, she told me that essentially no matter what happens, you're going to get stuff. So I'm just letting you know that.
Yeah.
But they won't feel bad if you didn't get them anything or not. But so I ended up, they're all hardcore Crimson Tide fans. And so Roll Tide. And so you remember those books that we got from the Baumgartners a couple years ago, maybe, where it was a while back, maybe actually, where it was like this day on your birthday.
The New York Times thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I
so
was just thinking about this week. I'm gonna put it in the studio because it's a fucking cool.
it
like,
is
display
super
thing.
cool, man.
Yeah.
And well, it's the same type of thing, but they make similar ones for like football teams, baseball teams, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's just this one is from the Washington Post stuff, so it's just articles going back decades
That's cool
about
as
Crimson
fuck.
Tide stuff. And fuck, her dad lost
I
it.
bet.
Was like, this is so cool. It's a great little coffee table book too.
Yeah.
And their living room is just decked out to the gills in Bama gear, so it just fits right in. So
That's
that was
dope.
that was nailed.
Nice job.
Thank you, sir. I thought I did pretty good on that one.
That's a good pick.
I was like, oh, nice brush off. But they got me because her dad really likes bourbon, and so we bond over bourbon, which is great. And he gave me a giant bottle of Bullet, which was just perfect. And then a gang of other stuff. Her and her mom kind of just, they have stockings up every year, and then everybody just puts random stuff in it. So I got a bunch of like chapstick and, a bunch of really cool stuff, including another coffee mug, a Yeti coffee mug. It's got the
Nice.
same size top on it. It's all the magnetic thing. It's the
Nice.
exact same thing. So now I have my to-go cup for coffee, which is Yeti, and then I have my work Yeti, and I have my water Yeti.
That's
so I'm
clutch.
Yeti out the ass
at
now.
you.
Yeah, it was a good one, man. And I'm a little bummed the white elephants were. I bought an extra one because I also invited Miss Kathy from work over.
That's
and then,
nice.
And she ultimately decided not to come, but I wanted to make sure she had a place to go if she
Right.
wanted to.
I did the same thing with Brian. Who was like, "Listen,
yeah.
I'm going to be in Leavenworth.
Yes.
God forbid you choose to come out here because who would drive this far? But if you want somewhere to go on Christmas, you can come here."
Yes, exactly. And so, but then also like my two half brothers and my brother Aaron's girlfriend Christy, we had talked a little bit, but there was no confirmation. I was like, well, okay, so if you guys do want to come over, we're going to do food about this time.
Yeah, did he bring his girlfriend?
Yeah.
Are they still?
So my brother Aaron
Oh, okay.
is, he's actually engaged to one of his employees and has been for a long time. They've been dating forever.
But Chad came by himself.
Chad came with his now ex-girlfriend,
Oh my
Katie. Who was, is a very similar thing, just not really that interested, especially after dinner, because she just laid up on the couch and went to sleep, and then we all
That's
watched
so
our movies
funny.
and stuff like that. But it was, it was fine. She was great.
It's pleasant.
Yeah. And, she did the right thing. It was occasionally come in and like talk shit to me while I'm cooking, and then I give her shit back. We have a good back and forth. It was very nice.
Yeah.
But my mom and Aaron are both white elephant fucking legends. They know how to do it right, where you just get a bunch of stuff and then you put it in a box, and then
Yeah.
you get all this cool little stuff, right? And I got this hoping that like either me or Aaron would end up with it because I wanted to use it. It was a giant Jenga set and a like the 2x4 ones, and then
So the box was enormous.
it was
Oh,
this
right, because
big.
they're all just like stacked together.
Yeah,
in the-
but it was heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of 2x4s, bro. It makes a tower like 6 feet tall. So I got that, and then I got the it's like a 3 game thing of like cornhole, ladder golf, and then there's like some disc game that's kind of like the fucking cornhole. I was like, I just said it. How am I drawing a blank? And if somebody showed up, because my two half brothers and his girlfriend, they left before we did White Elephant, and because I offered, I was like, well, I have an extra thing. If you guys want to pick one, you guys can also play the game and do all this stuff. You just have to do it as a unit. But they ended up taking off before that, and so those two things went together. My mom and Aaron both had the box situation. Katie got a giant. It's like a 10 by 10 blanket. It's like a giant ass fucking blanket, which
Yeah.
is real nice
That's
for
dope.
certain tall people like that.
Right.
And then Chad got a fucking bidet attachment to like you can just hook it up to any toilet, and I'm like, that is fucking dope.
That's clutch.
And then it ended up. Let's see. My mom got her own white elephant box that she got, and then gave half the stuff to Aaron for just because that's the way my mom works. She's
Yeah.
like, I just want the cribbage board, and then there was like there was a cribbage board. A couple other things that I don't remember. There was a iron lodge or whatever that log cabin, whatever the cast iron company is.
Okay.
It was a cookbook just for like cast iron shit, which was super dope. A microwave popcorn maker, so like you can actually add like the real popcorn stuff and then put some butter on there and just throw it in the microwave. You got fresh popcorn. It's dope. And then
we've been doing it on the stove lately.
Oh yeah, I always end up burning it. It sucks. I used to be good, and then one day I just lost the magic. And then I got one of them. Just throw it in the microwave, and it pops, and everything's perfect. And fresh melted butter. It's nice. And then that was in Mom's box, so she ended up giving that. And there was another couple things in there, but I can't remember what they were. Katie ended up with a bidet attachment. Aaron got the big blanket. I got Aaron box of goodies, which was what the hell was in it now? Oh, that's the Yeti tumbler. That's where I got that. Okay. Then there's this crazy ass book. It was like a bunch of facts to look while you're pooping. It was like poop facts, a book for like the toilet, and it's amazing. I'll have to bring it in one time. It's fucking fantastic. A box of like chocolate covered macadamia nuts, and then a couple really other cool stuff. Chad ended up with all the tailgating games like that, and then I think that covers it. So it all worked out. It was a hit. I overcooked the prime rib, which sucked, but had way too much fucking food, way too much food left over. I'm still working on, I used the prime rib to make cheesesteaks the other night. That was a great idea.
Yeah. Just
slice it up real thin, add some provolone in there, throw it on a hoagie. Good to go. Maybe heat up some tater tots with it. It was good. And then, the next day, like, it was nice, right? And then we all ended Christmas Eve with our standard thing where we sit down and watch It's a Wonderful Life. Cried like a baby like 3 times like I always do. It's like a whole thing. It always gets me. Watched the colorized version this year. We usually do black and white, but I like to go back and forth now. That movie gets me every fucking time. It's just, it hits you. Everything important in life that's what that movie's all about. It's fantastic. You guys watch it at all?
No.
Oh, dude, it's just the best. But then kind of wrapped up the night. I packed up as much as I could and then brought it all over. Did like 2 loads of dishes. I did the dishes too, which I don't usually do, but extenuating circumstances. Usually,
that's weak.
Usually Mom like runs the house after I get done cooking, and then I just have the rest of the night off. And then she handles you take care of the dishes. She arranges everything and makes sure all that gets handled. But she's laid up.
Right.
And so a couple people offered, and I was like, I'm just kind of in the zone. So I was fine. Ran a couple loads of dishes. I was also doing laundry at the same time because I had a week's worth of me and my mom's laundry from staying at her place.
Right.
And so I'm like doing laundry. I'm cooking. Everything was wild. Got everything cleaned up. And then we just hauled ass back down to the shop and then stayed there overnight. And then Aaron and I got up in the morning to go over to... Aaron went home that night, I think. Yeah. And then I got up, went over there. We all wear matching pajamas.
Yep.
So that was cool. I got these, the sweet-ass fucking pajama pants. They're dope as fuck. So hung out there, had some breakfast, kind of started cooking. Her dad was, like, smoking the prime ribs. There were 3 prime ribs he was smoking.
Good Christ.
Because there was, like, 16 people, 18 people, I think, coming over. Something like that. Big old party, right? But it was real quiet. We watched White Christmas, most of it. Which is a longer movie than I anticipated. I'd never seen it before. It's pretty good. And then, like, people started trickling in, so then everybody changed his clothes, and then it was just, tons and tons of food going on. I knew about half the people that were there and then met the other half, and really, really cool people, but very, like, it was reminiscent of, like, the old school Christmas parties that we used to have, like, as a family when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done anything like that since, like, my grandma and my dad died. And so it was, like, really nice to, like, be around that, like, actual, like, family and friends vibes. Great conversations. We ended up having to sit at the kids' table because their dining room table was only so long. And so it was, like, me and Erin and then her 3 cousins. And so we, like, bullshit for a while. And they're all Gen Zers at this point. I'm the oldest one at the table by 10 years. And so I was, like, it was real quiet. Everybody was just kind of eating and nobody was really talking. So it was up to me to, like, kick off conversation and stuff. And within, like, 5 minutes, everybody's going around. But you know how it goes. Like, when you talk to those types of people, like, you have to care. You have to continue. You have to forcefully carry on the conversation.
Yes.
But it was really nice. I'd never met any of them before. We had a good time. And then this lady, one of, like, their family friends, I guess Aaron's known this lady since she was a little baby. I think Kathleen, I want to say her name is. most fucking hilarious person in the world. Came over just randomly. I was like, I'm done with them. I want to come sit with you guys. And we just had an amazingly hilarious conversation about like music and all that. Me and her, we had to introduce them essentially to the really young ones, to like Willie Nelson and like a bunch of like, pop culture figures from the stuff like you and I would know for sure, but they just had no idea, man.
Yeah.
They were like, they knew some of like the random lines that are associated with them now, but they didn't actually know who the people were or like what they did. And
Right.
the Willie Nelson thing really fucking blew my mind, but the generational gap was hilarious. And then by the time dessert happened, which was more of Aaron's cheesecake, and then people brought over a couple other things, and we all were in the main dining room. Some of us were just kind of sitting around the edges, and then everybody's just having a good time. Had a bunch of really, really good bourbon that night, but it was just solid, like, family vibes. It was really, really nice.
Yeah.
And then, went back to Mom's place, kind of relieved Chad from his duties, and then just hung out on the couch. And then eventually Aaron was like, fuck this, I'm coming back. I'm just going to hang out. And we watched movies, and I started drinking real hard. Got super fucked up and passed out during Die Hard. It was not great.
Yeah.
It was not good.
That's
It was
really
not a
funny.
good look. I didn't even get to watch Die Hard. I made it not even halfway through.
You're just a movie sleeper now. That's what you're.
It's not a good train to be on. Don't fall asleep during movies left and right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was nice, but I was very happy when it was done. Put it that way. Once that was all done, I was like, oh my God, I can breathe now. And then all of a sudden, Mom's recovery trajectory just started getting exponentially better.
Nice.
And then I was more or less relieved from active duty. And now I'm back to living the standard life again. I'm very excited about it.
Can I open you up a little bit? Can I
Please.
ask you some questions that are relevant to
Let's go.
other shit that's going on? Your dad's been. How long ago did he die?
I want to say about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how is Christmas without your dad?
It's been enough years now that we don't even really focus on it. I
Yeah.
don't think about it that much. Especially because we had a couple. The Christmas thing, the big void was after my grandmother died, because she was like the glue that held everybody together at that point. And then my dad was never really a centerpiece during Christmas. He did a lot of the cooking.
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't. That was like his day off. Like my mom actually did all the cooking. That was like her few days of cooking throughout the year were like on the big holidays, and she handled all that. But like it was weird for a while just because Dad wasn't around, and so I kind of have always played the dad role in the family ever since he took off. And I don't want to take off sounds bad, but
Yeah.
ever since he died, and so I don't know. I just never really. I don't focus on it. So
Yeah.
it just doesn't, and at this point, it doesn't bother me anymore. I have other stuff to focus on, and the traditions that we're kind of trying to build, I guess, afterwards, which is a very, very slow process because life is very different from year to year, and where everybody's situations are different, and so it's hard to build in traditions like that when they only happen once a fucking year.
Right.
And then sometimes people are out of town, and they got this going on, or locations have to change, or this, that, and the other thing. We were supposed to go to Chad's house, but I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm
Right.
doing it at my house because I'm not going to Bremerton for this. I'm not hauling Mom all the way to Bremerton. But yeah, it's not really been it doesn't affect me like that. I don't know why. It probably did if I were to think about it back right afterwards. But, also during that whole sickness time and right afterwards, there was no room for me to do that. I had to just always, I just took over the role, more or less. And that's just kind of, so I just don't even really think about it. I just do the thing,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Maybe that's unhealthy. I don't know.
Do you guys talk about him at all?
Didn't this year.
No.
No, I think my mom might have a little bit. She usually does. But I think she was too distracted with pain this year. I think that kept her mind off, but,
Do you feel like you have made significant or progress at all in I don't know what to call it, but healing from your dad's death, like finding closure from it and kind of coming to terms with it and just be, whatever. Everybody's deal is different with it and whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
Depending on their experience with their parents. But
Yeah. I don't. I don't really ever find points in my life now where I'm like, oh, I would call Dad about this.
Yeah.
Because I did for probably the first 3 years. You know, something would go wrong with the truck or the car or something like that. And I immediately would call up him and be like, what do you think about this? Or can I take it over? Can you look at it? Well, let's go through this together. But now, yeah, it's been so long at this point. Like, I don't have those moments. I can't remember the last time I did have one of those moments, put it that way. It just kind of, I think I have dealt with it. It was very delayed, I'll tell you that much, because there's so much stuff to do right after somebody passes that you just, you know, then you roll into all the major things. But yeah, I think I dealt with it probably about a year or two afterwards. And then I've just been kind of fine ever since. I mean, it sucks, but it was a thing that happened and I dealt with it. And now I don't even really think about it that much.
Yeah.
You know, my mom brings it up every now and again. She gets lonely sometimes and like, oh, I miss Dad. I'm like, yeah, I know, man. I know how it is. But I don't really go into those moments very much anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of sad to like say out loud, but it's a reality. I don't know. I just don't have. It's not worth it to me to try to spend time missing somebody that's never going to come back. You know, because I do miss him in a lot of ways. But also, nothing I could do about it, so I guess I don't really get sad about it anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but it's usually random, very random occurrences. I'll be like listening to a song or thinking about something, and then, you know, something will hit. And I'm like, man, that's tough. But also, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't. It seems sad to say out loud, like I said, but I just don't really think about it like that anymore.
And did you have like a specific time or something where you were processing, or you just kind of noticed a time where you're like, I'm not getting actively upset about this anymore?
Yeah. It just kind of faded away, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a lot of repression at first, you know, because somebody's got to stand in and fill the void for things. And then there's no room, you know, like I remember on the day that my dad died, I didn't cry that night because everybody else was. Somebody's got to make the phone calls and handle the logistics of things and just make sure everybody else is okay,
right,
to a point. But, you know, and that carries on afterwards, you know, like who's going to make. My dad would always make Christmas morning this breakfast casserole. Nothing fancy. It was like tater tots on the bottom, and then there was like ground sausage or sausage links or something like that, and then egg and then cheese on top. But it's just what we had for Christmas morning every time. And so the first Christmas he was gone, I remember I just made that every year. And so I would always do that because that's how we started the day. But then as time progressed and traditions kind of changed, I haven't made it in a few years now because we don't even get together right off the bat in the morning. But that's about it. There's no real shoes to fill, I guess, like that anymore. Maybe with my mom, but that's just our relationship's changed so drastically anyways. You know, I just take care of her now as like a weird like friend relationship, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, it's, you know, as far as like the dealing with it stuff went, I remember trying to write his eulogy. That was difficult. And then I think I only made it like a paragraph in at the service before I could, you know, and then probably the next week there was a lot of emotions and tears and stuff like that, but just by myself. I wouldn't do it with anybody else. Probably should have been a red flag for other things, obviously, but and then just as time's gone on, it just slowly kind of slipped away. I don't ever remember like a hard like this. I feel good about this now, you know. But that's the only time I really get emotional now thinking about it. Is like thinking about what we all were going through towards the end, because that was just really, you know, you remember I was taking time off work because I had to take care of him, and you know, there's taking care of an ailing elderly parent is not fun, clean. It's just rough.
Yeah,
the entire time.
Because we've never really talked that much about it.
Yeah.
You know? Like I've asked about it a few times, and you've just kind of. I think all I really know is like when I've asked about him dying, you've said like, well, he essentially like drank himself to death.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really kind of the extent of the conversation we've had about it.
Yeah.
Because we weren't really very close. You know, at that time, like at that when you were working at Bennick, it wasn't until after you stopped working there that we started like really getting close.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah, it was a very different level of friendship we had back then.
Yeah.
It was like we worked with each other.
Right.
We were friendly. You know, we had started to have conversations, I think, but
Yeah.
nothing like deep. But yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, especially as somebody that once he got into hospice care and was dying and refused to have any kind of surgeries or anything like that, you know, organ failure and all that stuff, having to continue to feed them alcohol so that they don't go into detox and have a very violent death, that shit is soul killing because you know this is exactly what has done this.
Right.
And the conscious choice to do that and really crank it up at the end and say, this is how I want to go out. And then to just make up, you know, you're going to the store buying gallons of vodka and fruit juice and stuff like that, and then mixing it just in big pitchers because he's going to go through them all in the day. That shit was terrible. That stuff's bad. But at the end of the day, nothing I could do about it. You know, so you just kind of go numb and you just handled it.
That's just the reality of the situation at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of... My relationship with, like, the reality of situations, I think probably was deeply, deeply rooted in those months.
Right.
Because there's no way to get around that. You can close your eyes and try to change whatever you want, but at the end of the day, this is what you're going to have to do anyways. Unless I just wanted to check out and just dip.
Right.
Which I wasn't going to do.
And I would imagine that a certain portion, I don't know how much, but a certain portion of the grieving, at least on your part, is done during that process, you know, where you're like, he is dying. Like, he is going to die. So that, like, when he dies, that you don't have to like accept that.
No.
You know, you've already understood and accepted. Like, he is dying. I'm like, this is just on
just
the
a
road
matter of
to
when.
this thing. Yeah. So that does make sense to that extent, where you've already done like that part of the processing. You know?
Because that was a very real moment. I think was. Once you're past the point of no return, and then you just have to deal with the consequences of it, you know, you can struggle with it as much as you want, but at the end of the day, you know, in the last few days, the last week, you find yourself thinking things that you thought once were unthinkable, like, I wish he would already slip away now, because by that time, you know, last week or so, you're just fucked up on morphine all the time.
Right.
Right. And it's, you know, not really conscious. You can't have a conversation with somebody. And you know that there's a lot of pain involved, and you just want it to go away for everybody involved. You just want all the pain to just finally stop. And then you can move on and start the other process, right? But that was when he did finally, like, it's a weird thing because he did just slip away at a certain time. Like, there was moments where you're like, okay, is he breathing anymore, or this, that, and the other thing? But it was very apparent when it did happen. And so it was me, my mom, and my brother Chad, and we were all there in the room with him. You got me on this one. But I just remember being like, as soon as like the pulse faded away, Mom breaks down, Chad breaks down, and I'm just smiling. I'm going, thank God it's over, and he's don't have to deal with this anymore. We can all move on from here. And I just remember being happy that he wasn't hurt anymore. And then everybody was, you know, it's sad.
Right.
But like you said before, he was already dead. Just a matter of time.
Right.
So, like, I had already done that. You know, I remember when I first had to take time off. Like, I was talking to Dan and Tim about it, and I was just breaking down then because I was like, that's when you just accept that it's already gone. Now you're just in the checkout period.
Right.
But so I didn't cry that night. I was, you know, you're floored. There's a lot of weird. You're kind of in shock at a certain point. And I remember sitting out on front porch, and Chad was not doing so hot, and I'm just standing there fucking stoic as all can be, you know, because somebody's got to be, you know, and then making the calls to like the morgue or the mortuary, whatever it was, the county people that have to come.
The people who handle the dead people.
Yeah, because there's people that handle the dead people
right.
at all hours of the day and night.
There's always a person to fucking come pick up a body.
It's weird ass shit.
Yes.
Yeah. And then,
it's a weird industry.
It's a super weird industry. But somebody's got to do it. It's like the garbage people. Somebody's got to pick up the garbage, man. Somebody got to pick up the dead bodies. Yeah, so that was how that happened. I'm sorry, I don't even remember the original question, so I might have gotten off track.
This is perfect. No, that's exactly correct. Because I'm asking partially because Trenton, right? I've been talking to Trenton over Christmas and stuff like that. This is only the second year that his dad has been gone, and so even though he lives in Texas with his family, like he spends a lot of time by himself. He just doesn't do that much stuff with his family, you know. And so I was just pressing him. I'm like, "Do you guys talk about him? Do you anything?" He's like, "I think it's too difficult. Like we don't really do that, you know." And so he said he feels like he's doing his processing and stuff by himself, you know. And I partially asked him that because like I don't talk to his sister very frequently, but we're like friends on social media and stuff like that. And so like I see things she posts on her story and stuff. So she's posting in her story, like the week leading up to Christmas about how whatever reels and stuff about how like she doesn't like when people tell her not to talk about her, her father, or people shouldn't be telling you not to talk about dead loved ones during Christmas, and like it can be helpful to talk about them. It's good to talk about them. So like from the other side that I'm seeing, this is what his sister wants to be doing. Like this is what's going to help her process is to like be talking about her dad and to be spending more time together, be doing these things, and it's not his responsibility. And so I didn't say any of this to him because it's not his responsibility, and I'm not going to put it on him to make it feel like it is, you know. But I know that there are other people in his house that are experiencing it differently and would benefit from talking about him, you know, from like a group processing thing, but also he has to do his own thing, if he's going to process it by himself. And so at the end of that discussion, I was like, as long as you feel like you're making progress, like that's all that matters to me, if you are making progress. If you aren't doing that, then I am going to tell you as your best friend that you need to try something else, because sitting in your room and like doing what you're doing isn't helping. But if you need time to yourself, and that's what's going to, because I've been best friends with him for a long time. He's not an open, emotional person. He's very difficult to have discussions like this with. And so it doesn't surprise me any of this. But like I said, it's like, as long as you are making progress, then that's fine.
You don't want to be bearing things to dress later.
Yes.
That's not
and that was
never a good experience.
And that was
in
my concern. Is that, he's not talking about it, and it's not going to get better. And then 10 years, 15 years are going to go by, because like my mom, her dad died. My grandma Hobie died 2 years before I was born, and he died on her birthday. And I know that she had a different experience than like her mom did. My grandma would talk about Grandpa Hobie all the time. She was always talking about him and like keeping the memory alive, making sure that those of us because I think I was the only grandchild who never met him of like that generation. So like always making sure that we knew what he was about, you know what I'm saying? And like the stuff that he liked to do and the things that he cared about and the things that mattered to him. Like these were important things to my grandma that we knew that about him, And my mom hardly ever talked about him. She just didn't ever really discuss it. And you could tell that she wasn't over that, and I just turned 29. So that's 31 years ago. And so she's still not over that. And part of it is because she personalizes it, like because of her birthday, that like is, I don't know exactly the experience with that, but there's definitely
certainly has to be a factor.
Definitely a personalization aspect to it, of it happening on her birthday that like hinders her ability to process that or whatever to get over it. But I can tell just in the way that they discuss him, it's very different.
And everybody processes things differently. Some people can just process them alone.
My grandma's very logical, so I also understand. Her and I are very similar, so I also can understand how, You know, she also was a fucking nurse for a long time. So she was like, motherfuckers die. Like, motherfuckers die every day.
All the time.
Yeah, this is what it is. He had a heart attack before, had a heart attack again, and it killed him. Like, this is...
Yep. That's why I don't like hospitals.
This is how bodies work, you know? So I can see how she would have... And she would tell you the same thing your mom. You know, like, I miss him. Like, this is our anniversary. Like, I miss him every day. You know, whatever. Like, she would tell you that stuff.
Yep.
She was never closed off about it. And I didn't think about it when I was a kid. It's only now that I'm an adult, you know? But
Yeah, Mom had... Now, you know, thinking in retrospect, the post-death, like, trauma for my mom, it was a very long process, which makes sense. You married to somebody for decades and decades like that, and, you know, you have kids together, you do the whole thing, you know, it's... I can't even begin to understand what that's like. Because I remember when she sold the house that we all lived in Paulsbo, because who wants to live in that fucking house anymore? And it's too much for one person to handle anyway. So
it was a big house.
Yeah. It was a big split level house, but it was a big horse property, you know?
Yeah.
So she kind of held up her end of, like, the barn side of things, and then Dad took care of everything else. And then all of a sudden that was gone. And then it was up to, like, me and or my brother to help out. And then, like, my half-brothers and stuff would randomly... She was telling a story the other day, or actually this morning, when we were having our breakfast thing.
So these are your mom's kids or your dad's kids?
These are my dad's kids.
Okay.
Yeah, my two half-brothers are my dad's kids. But they grew up in the house with us. You know, they were my brothers for a very long time. They were just older, so they weren't around that long.
I have also just never asked, so I did not know.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan asked me when Aaron was here doing the work. She was like, how are they related? I was like, I honestly don't know. I know that they're half related. That one of his parents are the same as his, but that's all that and I never met him. Like, he came here when I was at work. So all this time, we'd like, just give him a hug, Merry Christmas. Like, I don't even know what he looks like. I've never even met him before.
So it's really funny, especially Aaron, because we're all relatively tall people. Like, Chad's not super tall, but he's tall.
Yeah, he's regular tall.
My brother, the oldest one of us, 4 boys, is, you know, he's 50 now? Yeah, I think he's 50. And then Aaron's like probably 47 or something like that. But, like, Marty is tall, just like me. We
Fucking
went
Marty.
eye to eye, dude. Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, Marty
forgot.
is. Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The way we used to put it is, like, those are my dad's kids from his Coast Guard marriage. Yeah. Because that's what it was. And then other things happened. But Marty is probably 6.
Who could resist Carolyn? She's a fucking wild.
Indeed.
She is a riot, dude.
Oh, dude. That's why the homies came over today, and we all had breakfast because the people want to cheer her up. And, you know, she's a very, very popular person with people young and old. It's a whole thing.
I think she's the only silver-haired person to tell me to go fuck myself before.
Oh, yeah.
She's very funny.
It's not the first time it's going to happen. It'll happen more.
Yeah, she's a lot, but she's very funny.
Especially after a couple bevies.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marty's probably 6'2". You know, I'm 6'4". Chad's probably 6'1", 6'2". I don't know. He's relatively tallish. But Aaron's like 5'8", maybe. Like, he's not a tall dude at all. He's kind of a short guy. Tall? Yeah. He was 6'4", just like me. And somehow or other, and even Aaron's mom, Marty and Aaron's mom, she's not a short lady either. Like, she wasn't. She's probably about-ish my mom's size, maybe, like, height-wise. Like,
Aaron
she's
just
not short.
Fucked, huh?
He just got fucked, dude. He's like 5 foot short.
Because Jordan's 5'8".
Probably smaller than that. Now that I think about it, if we're gonna stack him up, Jordan, I don't know.
So funny.
But yeah, it's so weird.
We should ask her if, like, how was he shorter?
Was
than
he shorter
you?
than you? How did that look? Because I don't know. But also, I got Aaron's such a good dude. Thinking about it, he's the one that gave me that freedom over safety shirt that I just got recently. Like, he's a real kind of, like, liberal dude, but he's also just super based as well. And I think I got most of my anarchist tendencies, like, deep down, like, all these feelings that I'm realizing are real. They came from him.
That's
growing
nice.
up around him. He's always had, like, a problem with authority and hated the fucking government, but also goes to Burning Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that type of dude. And
That's
he's
nice.
a hardcore pyromaniac. But before I got off track, I was thinking back the healing process for my mom after my dad died. She moved to Seabeck, right? And she got a log cabin and she didn't know what she was doing with on some property that was not ready for horses but could hold horses, and so she was just working all the time, and I would go out there to check on her, as much as I could, even though it was a fucking hour away because it's in the middle of bumfuck Seebeck, and especially during like the summertime, me and her would go over there. I'd go over there and meet up with her, and then we'd sit on this cool ass outdoor swing that she's got, this little cool, like, I don't know, porch swing. It's got 2 seats on each side, and there's like a little console for bevies in the middle, and then we'd have what we still call swing beers now. So still do it to this day when it's nice out. And I remember a lot of conversations where we'd be talking, and then you could tell, she misses dad, and then she'd bring up something, and then she'd start crying, and so like, there was a lot of post-processing.
Yeah. And
vicariously, you do. If you're even if you're standing there to be like the pillar for the family to hold up, and trying to be the stoic one and everything, and make sure everything is still moving forward, there's still a lot of good processing that comes with that.
Right.
There's a lot of what's the right word? I just say processing. That's the best way to put it, like that. It still comes with that, even when you're having to be the strong one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You still deal with a lot of that stuff. Maybe you fight back the tears or something like that, but you're still going through it.
Yeah.
You're still growing through it. You just have to not break down when other people do, which is, it ain't easy, but it's definitely got its perks in the long run. It helps you be like that further in the future with everything. I've noticed that I was able to grow emotionally stronger after that situation and through it than I had ever been before. I didn't realize how soft I was beforehand, but it's been very healthy for me and I've been able to be that person for a lot of people now. It's great, it allows you to take a lot of big leaps of faith and just, I can trust in myself to handle whatever this is. I've been through that. I can handle this. This is nothing compared to that, emotionally. So it's paid dividends, I think. Yeah. I love having these conversations with you. We've never done this before.
Mm-mm.
This is fantastic. And the holiday time is like a great time to go through it, because it's the family stuff. It's all right there. And yeah, like I didn't even really think about Dad almost at all this year. He just was taking care of the rest of the family.
Yeah.
Which worked out fine.
That was good. I had started to say this earlier, and then I started talking about other stuff that I didn't hear from. I'm not trying to shift or anything, but I am, but not like too harsh for shift. That I didn't hear from either of my parents this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is not something that.
Is that weird for your dad though, or is that mostly weird from your mom?
So I wasn't something from either side that I was like actively upset about, but I don't think on either part I'll ever like. I don't want to say ever because I don't know, but it's going to be a while, I think, before I don't care that I don't hear from them, around that time.
That's interesting.
My grandma has called me twice since I stopped talking to my family, and it's like always around Thanksgiving, always around the time that Trenton's dad died, because that's when we stopped talking to each other. And the last time she called, I was like shocked when she called, and so I showed Jordan the phone, and we were kind of like talking about it, and I was going to answer, and then I missed the phone call, and I didn't call her back. I just took too long, and then didn't call her back. But I was going to answer, but I just didn't. I was very surprised, but then, I didn't hear from either of my parents this year. Again, I don't hear from my dad usually.
Like the dad thing doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. And
how long has it been since you quit talking to Mom?
It's going
to
be 2 years, because it was all like at the same time. That like I hadn't been talking to my mom for a while, and I was still talking to my grandma. And so I don't know exactly. I remember the last time that I saw my mom was on her birthday 2 years ago because she had like guilted us into bringing Dax over there. And so we spent time over there. And when I left, I was unhappy about how the whole situation had come about. It was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm uncomfortable with this dynamic, with how any of this is working. But I would still talk to my grandma and stuff. It was during COVID. So like, I think I was the only person who could go there. Like, we couldn't bring Dax there because they were still weird about kids and old people and stuff like that. And that was part of the upsetness, is like, she did see him on my mom's birthday and was like, you know, I was so upset that he didn't recognize me. And he was 2, right? He was fucking 2, by the way. He's an autistic 2-year-old who like only knows his parents. And so, she's like upset. And,
Uncle Offie hasn't come around until somewhat recently. You know what I mean?
And he's seen you, he's known you his entire life. So
I wouldn't expect a 2-year-old to recognize me. That seems, I don't know. I'm not a parent, so I don't know.
She was very upset, and you know, how is he ever going to get to know me if, you know, you're not going to organize meetings with, you know, at your mom's house, and he can't come here because of the retirement home and blah, 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 and like all this stuff. So that's how like that ended up breaking down. And then the last time I talked to her was I called her on the way to Trenton's dad's viewing at the place on Kitsap Way. So I spoke to her like on the way from Bannock to there. And she's like upset when I got on the phone with her, and it's like, what's going on? You know, she's like, I'm fine. She's like, well, I shouldn't say that because I'm not fine. I'm very upset. I was like, why are you upset? You know, because of the way that you've been treating your mother. I was like, what do you mean, the way that I've been treating my mother? Like, please, you know. She's like, well, you know, you're not talking to her, and you're not letting your children see her, and you're not letting her grandchildren, and, you know, your cousins, and you know, you're tearing this family apart. And it's like, Grandma, we've never had a single discussion, you and I, about, you know, what's going on between me and Mom or anybody else in the family. So I don't
even know where I'm coming from here.
You could possibly have a good understanding of like what's going on, you know, and insisted like that she hadn't been speaking to my mother. I'm like, then how do you have any idea about any of this if you haven't spoken to my mom about any of this, you know? And again, you're the most logical person in the whole family. How are you trying to form an opinion on the situation when you and I have never discussed it? Like, you don't have any idea, like you said, where I'm coming from, or any of this is why I'm doing any of the things that I'm doing, because I think you know that I'm not an irrational person, that I don't just do things because it feels good at the time. You know,
had you always before this had a good relationship with your grandmother?
Always. She lived in my house when we were growing up. Grew up with my mom, my grandma, and my sister. And my sister was 7 years older than me, so she left the house relatively early. And then my mom worked in Seattle a bunch, so me and my grandma spent a ton of time together. Weird. A ton of time. I was shocked about how this was breaking down, you know, and it got more and more heated and stuff like that. And like, I think 2 times I was like, I cannot talk about this right now.
No.
On the way to go see my best friend's father's corpse. I can't do this right now, you know? And so I said that the final time, like as I was in the parking lot of the funeral home, and she hung up on me. I was like, okay, well.
That kind of clears things up, to be honest.
Yeah, and she said, fine, and then hung up the phone after. I was like, Grandma, I can't right now. Like, I know that I continued the conversation, but I can't do this. I'm literally outside of the building, like, Archie's body is 50 yards from me. I can't have this discussion right now. This isn't why I called you. I called you just to tell you. She was very interested. Morbid things. She's a nurse, so she's just dead people, all the things, you know. So the whole time, very interested in not like, you know, what's happening with his body, but like
what happened,
where's the funeral and all that type of stuff. So like, you know, I'm just calling you to tell you that I'm on the way to the viewing, you know, like I'm leaving work to go to the viewing, and then like the funeral is this day.
So from the jump, you already knew what you were doing.
Yes, I'm just calling you to tell you that I'm on my way to the viewing. How are you doing? And that's when she's like, well, I'm not good.
I can't
Please
handle
tell
that,
me
man.
that my whole family is like that. They're all...
It seems so...
It's very...
self-centered.
It's very unhealthy.
Yes.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's very... what's the right word? Yeah, what's the word for like self-centered? Like very...
like selfish? Or,
selfish.
Yeah,
extremely selfish.
Yeah.
Dude, I literally... told you what I'm doing right now, and now you're going to try to have this conversation with me. That's unhealthy, to say the least.
I can't do this.
No.
Yeah, and so she called me again like a year after Trenton's dad had died, and I was like, not interested. I don't remember what I was doing at the time. Actually, I missed that phone call. We were like Christmas shopping or something. And we were in a store and I came out and had a missed phone call from him. I was like, that's fucking weird. I'm glad I didn't get that phone call. And then this time I was sitting at the table upstairs doing something. I don't remember. She called and I was like, what do I
So let me ask you this question then. Would you be more upset that like you didn't hear from your grandmother on Christmas? Or would you be more upset that you didn't hear from your mom on Christmas?
I don't hear from my grandmother either. I still don't like...
Ever since then?
No. She's called me the 2 times, like around the anniversary of Trenton's father's death, but I've not spoken to her other than that. And I haven't spoken to her. So I haven't heard from her other than that, I guess I should say. And I think I'm probably more... I don't think about it, but I'm probably more disappointed, upset that I don't hear from my grandma, because even after I was having issues with everybody else, I continued to like still go to her house and still talk to her and like ensure that I made a relationship with her. You know, it's like I'm not gonna bring up anything that I have going on with my mom or my cousins or anything because I don't want to discuss this with you. Like I want to
stay in the proper lanes.
I would like to have, even though you know, because you're talking to them, so you have at least a cursory understanding of like the situation, not the details, but the situation. I don't want to discuss that with you because I would rather just have like this kind of pure corner of what's going on where you and I are still good. You know, we are still fine. You and I are not having issues. We're not arguing. We're good, you know, and that was fine for a while, but it just ended up not.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and I don't want you to think about it too much. Just try to, I don't know, whatever comes to mind. Like, what are you feeling when you think about your mom not calling you on Christmas?
Disappointment, because it means there's no progress has been made. Like she's still existing in a world where she's being victimized by our actions, and that's not an accurate representation of me choosing to do what's right for my family. You know, you are not a victim because I need to do what's right for my children because you are not a good influence. You are not a victim. That isn't how this works. And she's still operating in a world where, you know, because she's still like posting on social media and stuff all the time about like, you know, I just want to love my children if they just would let me. My sister is a fucking heroin addict. This is a whole separate deal than you're not a good influence on my children and you don't operate well with my wife and my family unit, and I'm not going to affiliate with you if you can't do
what we're doing,
what we need to do. You know, it's not like a preference thing, you know? To a certain extent it is. To another extent, I have a child with special needs. You need to accommodate what he needs to have a productive life and to do well with him. If you're not going to do that, you cannot spend time with him. I can't allow that to do that. I'm not going to allow him to go somewhere that's going to have his behavior regress because you want to have a good time. I'm not going to do that. That isn't good for him. That's not what's best for him. I'm not going to, in a world where he is still struggling to understand basic social norms, I'm not going to put him in a place where you're going to set him up with a skewed view of how relationships should form and how those dynamics should exist and how they should be, you know, like that they should be transactional and like that secrets should be kept from people. Like that's not healthy. I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm not going to put my kid in anybody who's going to have him keep secrets from me. I don't know. I'm not doing that. There's a difference between like, this hot cocoa is a secret, and then you tell us later, hey, we had fucking hot cocoa this weekend. You know, that's different. I know you did this thing. I have knowledge of this. And he believes maybe that there's secrecy involved and it's a special thing you guys have. You're honest with us about what happened. He's 5. I can't expect full 100% honesty from him. His brain isn't made that way
they don't do that.
You're an adult. I expect you to be honest, and if you want to do fun things, that's totally fine. If you fucking tell us that. You don't keep secrets from his parents.
You can keep, like, it's like the equivalent of like a white lie compared to something that matters. It's like, we go over, when we go to grandma's house, we always had Rice Krispie Squares. And like, well, we don't eat Rice Krispie Squares in this house, but like, what we do when we go to grandma's house. And it's like, that's okay. That's fine. And that's kind of adorable. But the stuff that we've discussed, and I don't know how deep we've gotten into it on the show before, but you laid out a very good example of those are deep-rooted, damaging things. That I would never give you shit for keeping him away from that. That seems like the prudent thing to do. I would lose respect for you if you decided to just expose him to that so that you can keep some facade of a relationship going.
I'm very focused on when they're adults. I think about that, and
you're trying to make good people,
as I think all parents should be. I'm very focused on when they're adults.
Yeah.
I don't want any of them. I didn't want Dax to have an understanding that love is transactional.
That's
in any
bad.
sense. That's not good, especially when you're a young man trying to form relationships, right?
Yeah.
Especially now that I have a daughter, I don't want my daughter to have any understanding that love is transactional.
No,
that isn't how anything works when you're a girl. Nothing should be when you're anybody, but it's.
I think more so, it seems exponential when it's a girl.
You should have no understanding as a girl, misconception that relationships or love is transactional because of the many, many implications that can have for young women.
Yes.
So I'm not even willing to consider that. I'm not. There are ways in which they chose to deal with and treat their children that I am uncomfortable with, that I'm not okay with my children witnessing. And they're not abusive to their children or anything, but they're just yelling at them and shit. And just I'm not doing that. I don't want my kids to think that's okay. Even though I'm not doing that with you, I don't want you to be viewing that. And when you're an adult, be like, well, everyone's families are different, and my family is different than it was when I was a kid, and I'm going to yell at my kids. No, this isn't. We're not doing that here. I'm not doing that. So,
and as time goes on, too, like it's one thing for people to grow up in that environment and even to recognize that it's wrong if they're growing up in it.
Yes.
But for somebody that hasn't been exposed to that and then all of a sudden they're exposed to that,
yes,
that is a level of like trauma that's going to incur that I can't even comprehend.
Because when your friends tell you a fucked up shit their parents do, you recognize my parents don't do that, that's fucked up. Like your parents shouldn't be doing that to you.
Yes.
But, if you're around your cousins and this is how your aunt talks to your cousins and they're fucking fine and you have lots of fun with them and their house is fun, then maybe it's okay that this is how dynamics are because their house was a ton of fun and your house isn't as fun because there's lots of rules and fucking all whatever.
Yeah.
No, we're not, I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm not gonna, I'm just not. I'm very.
So if your mom called you on Christmas, do you think you would have picked up the phone?
I think I probably would have answered. I think I probably would have answered. I don't think I would have let her talk to anybody else, but I think I probably would have answered and heard whatever she had to say. Same deal with my dad. Like, I'm not. Last time he called, I don't have like a list of things I'm waiting to say. I'm not waiting for you to call. I'm not.
No.
Because my hopes is that if you're choosing to call, then that means that you have recognized some form of fault in what's happening here, or some form, not even fault, but because I'm not trying to blame anybody, but some form of responsibility and role in how these relationships transpired, or the events transpired and the relationships crumbled. That there is responsibility on your part for how this came to be. And if you're not viewing it that way, I'm not going to even discuss it with you because you don't even have a reasonable understanding of what's going on.
Yeah.
You're still just viewing it from your own lens and how your life is fucked up because you can't see your grandchildren.
The really sad thing, too, is like it's worse at coming from an adult because like you've had the experiences already. Like now that like how much more wrong it was than when you did when you were like 14.
Yes.
Like no. That's not. This is the job of the parent.
Yeah.
And this is something that you have always failed to do. There's no fucking way you're gonna seat this on me now that I'm a grown ass adult who understands what we're doing, especially one that actually has kids of their own.
Right.
Go fuck you, even more so.
And I've caught shit from people. Creatrix is one of them, actually, when we had her on the first time about not talking to my mom.
Yeah.
Like, well, people are, they're processing and they're different, blah, blah, blah. Process over there. I don't want to be talking to you until you're done doing that. I'm not interested in that. I'm not going to take into your account your past and your fucking traumas and your whatever and make things acceptable. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to, I don't do that for myself. I'm not going to do that for my kids, for my wife. I don't do it for you. I don't tell anybody, Colin fucking snaps sometimes because his dad hit him. I'm never going to make that exception for somebody. It's not okay to perpetuate bad behavior because bad shit happened to you.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to make those exceptions for my mom. I'm not going to make them for anybody. I understand and it will help me comprehend your actions and your decisions. I am not going to legitimize them and make them okay. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because you can have a benign conversation with somebody to maintain contact. That means a lot too. Like if your mom was to call you on Christmas and just say, hey, I don't want to talk about anything really. I just want to know, how is everybody doing? Merry Christmas. I'm thinking about you.
Right.
And you go, and you have a fucking 5-minute long conversation about that. And then you go, okay, well, maybe I'll talk to you later or something like that. Like that show, like you have to go in with like pushing the chips all in on every conversation. And that's, again, though, that's the job of the parent, not the job of the child.
And my family is on all levels. Grandma, mom, it's a generational thing that, not that I'm like fucking pat on the back for me, but like I'm choosing to not engage in that, you know? They're not able to do that, have that type of a relationship.
Seems like
it has to, there's always something else attached to it. There's always a hook, a complication. There's always a something, you know? It's never just a thing. Like my grandma would still send, she has like a personal assistant who like helps her do laundry, all the stuff, and she had that woman like bring gifts to my work like 2 years, like the first Christmas that we weren't talking and the second Christmas after, not this year, but like have the one come to Bennick and drop gifts off at the front, so that because they know that then someone is going to walk through the building with an armful of gifts, they're going to drop them off at my table, and people around me are going to see that someone has. Yes. And it's not, I'm sure someone listening is like, that's fucked up. No one would do that. That's exactly how calculated and manipulative they are with emotions, that they know that and that's why my mom is posting shit on social media, because if she really just was having her own issues, she would keep it to herself. She needs other people to know that she's being victimized, that her children don't love her, and that we don't want her to have access to her grandchildren because we just hate her so much.
It's the equivalent of virtue signaling. It's like emotional.
She needs people to know that. And so that's the same reason that my grandmother would have gifts, because you could have mailed them to my house. We also live, I still lived in Keyport. My mom would come when she knew we weren't home and leave a plate of Christmas cookies on the deck in front of the Ring camera. So we would see her doing it, but we weren't there to see her do it. So where I live, you could have dropped them off at the house, but instead... you chose to have her come to my work, where people are going to see her do that.
That's so...
That she has to leave them at the front, and then someone has to bring them to me, or I have to come up and get them, and then walk through at least part of the building with Christmas gifts for someone to ask.
That's so emotionally passive-aggressive, man. And that's a dirty move.
That was when I wasn't even talking to them anymore. That's that's to try and force
that's called just digging the knife in, really. That's emotional fucking manipulation,
right? So
at its finest, I will say. I mean, I'm almost impressed with the level of execution, because that's dark.
And so 2 years of that, I was like, I don't want to talk to you. You're still doing this, like you're still trying to play this fucked up game where I am the problem and I have caused all these issues, and if I would just get my shit together, then everything would be okay. And that's not. It is evidenced by how reasonably successful my personal life has been. Not that I'm like fucking rolling in money or anything, but my family is good. I have a home. The show is doing well. Like things are going well. Everybody's life sucks in America to a certain extent. My life is going well.
You're fine.
You're doing just fine. If I was a piece of trash that you tell everyone that I am, my life would suck, just like my sister's does, because she's a piece of trash. This is how this works. I am, in fact, not a bad person.
There's an apples and apples comparison.
Right. So I don't accept your analysis and hypothesis of the conversation that I'm the problem. This is not accurate. It's not true. And so while that's still like the dominant narrative in that aspect of the fucking McGill money family, I'm not interested in taking any part of it.
That's dark, dude.
I can only hope that your children grow to adulthood and don't have such a skewed and poisoned view of who I am that they are willing to have a conversation with me and say, what the fuck is going on? Because I'm not going to lie to them. I'll tell them this is my deal. This is my experience, and this was my issue with what's going on. This is why I don't talk to them. Make your own decisions, do your own deal. I'm not going to tell you to do one thing or the other. This is why I don't. I'm happy to have a relationship with you.
Yeah.
Because I am,
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think the dark truth of the matter is it's not going to happen.
Right.
People that are in that situation, grow up in that situation, are surrounded by it their whole lives. That's just the way they are going to operate. And unfortunately, they're going to perpetuate that in their own kids.
Right.
And that's going to carry on. And it's going to carry on. And there might be a few people that can jailbreak like you did.
Yep, Donovan just.
But I hate to say it, man.
He's too good for us. He just doesn't like to come around here because we don't, meet his standards. Because that's exactly what the whole.
Because that's what it is. That's the way it's going to look like.
Has always been of like, because it started with Jordan's family. We think you like them better than us because they have more money and they have whatever. Jordan's family doesn't have money. They're not fucking. They buy a ton of shit. They do not have money. That isn't how one thing does not equal the other. They're also still fucking. Their power still gets shut off sometimes because they forget to pay their bills. This is a thing that happens. They are. Very, very normal people
America.
who buy shit. That's what they do. They don't have copious amounts of debt like my family does, so they buy things. They don't have money.
Various versions of shelling out cash, baby.
It's all the same thing, So, but
the difference between being in the black and being in the red at that point is it's just a matter of perspective, really.
So that's what these issues with them have been deep-seated for a long time when Jordan and I first got together, that they didn't like that we didn't spend as much time at their house as the other houses and, all blah, 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 like on holidays and stuff, and we wouldn't do as much stuff with them and whatever, and Jordan's family didn't want to hang out with them even though they were unwilling to come to Jordan's family's holidays, and so it was a whole deal, I like them better, and I would rather have them, and I hate my family, and I'm embarrassed of them, and...
And
then quit sucking. Then fucking get it together. And I won't, have to apologize every time I bring somebody new here. But when you guys scream at each other on fucking Thanksgiving every fucking year, no, I don't want to come here. I'm not interested in that.
Why would I want to do that?
Why would I want to bring my child here? When this is how you're going to operate. Or you're going to be so disgustingly passive aggressive that I have to leave. Like
I always, it's very, very different. But I always have an interesting experience with my family compared to like going over to somebody else's family for holidays, right? Because my family, we cuss and we swear and we cut on each other and we have a good time and there's lots of drinking involved. We're a bunch of degenerates,
Jordan's
right?
Family.
but it's fun and it's loving and it's a good time and it's very different. But it's it's like it's salty sailors hanging out at the bar versus like a nice, more proper, family event type of thing. So it's very, very different. But it's not. People aren't yelling and getting dark and being angry and stuff like that. But how do you... Because let's be realistic here. How do you feel knowing... Because I think you do know. Like, that's just the way it's always going to be from now on. Like, you are on your own. As far as your side of the family is concerned, you're starting a new one.
Yeah, and
you're creating a new branch.
I think a good example is like when Brian was over for Thanksgiving. He came over. I didn't even think to mention none of my family was going to be here.
Oh yeah,
I just don't.
You don't think about it.
This is just where I'm at right now. I need to be focused internally, and that's why I made these decisions. And when I do think about talking to my family, it's usually after some type of chaos has happened in my life, and then like I'm in the aftermath. I've dealt with it, and I'm like, okay, this was cool, and I'm thinking about other shit that's going on, and I think like. If I was also talking to my family, my life would be so much more stressful. Like it would be so much more stressful to just be conversing with them and be trying to do things with them and dealing with whatever they have going on, because at this point I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
My life would be so much more stressful that I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that because they can't compartmentalize to like make it not my problem.
And I want to focus on what you said right after I asked you that. It's like, that's not what I'm doing right now. It's not right now. It's from now on.
Yeah.
I mean, have you processed the fact that like, that's not going, you're not going to go back there. And I severely doubt. I would put a lot of fucking money, whatever money I had, I would put all the chips on the fact that they're not going to change. That is internal. It's perpetual. You are lucky to have recognized and had the ability to pull the ripcord and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to change. Like, Dax and Reason will probably never have a relationship with your side of the family. Unless there's some other breakout. And even then, it's going to be a lone soldier like you.
And I think I just
How does that make you feel?
I think I just say right now because I still leave the door open for that to happen. I don't find it likely, you know. It's not like it's not a thing.
The door's
I'm
never going to be
for.
closed with you.
It's not a thing I'm waiting for. Like I said, I don't have like a list of questions for my mom if she calls to be like, "So are you doing this now? How is this? How is this? How is this person?" Like I don't.
Because that's something. That's a tactic.
That's other shit that's going on. You know.
You'll just deal with it as you are right now.
Yeah. If she calls, I will answer the phone and I will, you know, be cordial and answer the questions that she has. And but I'm not gonna ask about your life. I'm not gonna do that. I won't inquire about your job. I won't inquire about anybody else. I don't.
Because you know exactly where it's gonna go.
Maybe grandma. Maybe. How is grandma? But that's it. I'm not gonna ask about anybody else.
Yep.
I'm not interested. You know. My Uncle Jeff, her brother, we've never had a close relationship. I've spoken to him a few times. Hit me up for random information. He's like, hey, what about this? I know he knows about everything because he talks to everybody. He's in Florida. That's when I get into it with my mom, I would hear from my Uncle Jeff and he would be like, yo, this is what your mom said to me. Let me hear what you said because I know that he, like my grandma for a long period of time, had an understanding that the story you hear from someone else in my family is not going to be the full story. And you need to corroborate it with somebody else to get more details.
Healthy.
And because I am an honest person, for a very long time, I've been a reliable source for that information. Were you there? What happened? This person said this, then this happened, then this person left. Like, that's not what I heard. I'm telling you, this is what happened.
That's so funny.
Yeah, he would call after I got into it with my mom for years. Let me hear what the fuck happened because this is what she said. And she would do the same thing with my grandma. Like we would get off the phone after an argument. She would immediately call my grandma to start filling that seed or planting the seed of like, this is what happened. He said this, blah, 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 because she knows that in the next few days, I'm going to talk to my grandma for one reason or another. And she's going to give me shit
so what's going on?
And it was like that for a while, but the last 2 or 3 years, my grandma would just be like, your mom said this. Like I think you know that isn't how this happened. Well, this is what she said. I understand that, but you know, this is not the reality. Like that's not. I don't have a reason to lie to you about this. I'm trying to fucking live my life here. So he would do the same thing, and I've heard from him a few times for random information.
There you go.
Like, what's the company? What's the company do you work for? It's Bank. Just random shit.
That's hilarious.
Have you heard about this? No, I have not. Please
one of
tell
like
me.
the small perks of having a very, very small family at this point is that kind of back and forth, checking in, getting both sides of the story, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on is so small that I don't have to deal. I mean, I deal with it all the time, but it's always the same two parties because there's not many other parties to be had at this point, right?
Right.
Because I don't really communicate with my grandfather much anymore for reasons for another episode. But like, it's always between my brother and my mom.
Yeah.
Like my little brother's got an issue with mom. And then I hear her side of the story, and then I hear his side of the story. Both people bitch about it, and then I both tell them they're both retards, and then everything will be fine. And then boom, everything is fine at that point because they're both on that same level. But that makes it very, very difficult to, if you're in even a more healthy situation, when there's that many more parties to, you know, somebody has an argument, like your aunt and like your mom and your uncle have an argument or something like that, and then they both go calling mom up and then filling in your grandma, and then all of a sudden you're involved, and next thing you know, there's all these different parties going on, and it's just I got to tell you, from everything we haven't talked about that much on this show,
only a couple episodes.
But you have laid a lot of info out since we did start, so as people catch up on this, you'll understand the true depth of it. But it is it's been a very, very healthy decision, I think, for you to exit and take your family with you out of that situation, because it's just nothing but toxic.
Yeah.
It's just bad news all the way. Bad news all the way.
Dan said something really nice to me like 2 weeks ago when I was having all the issues with my wiring and stuff like that. You know, I sat in his office for a while and fucking commiserated and catastrophized, and you know, my life is over and all the things. And
I recognized where you were at.
Yeah,
and I still tried to look at. Well, maybe I'll be a little bit.
Jordan gave me shit for it the other day, and I was like, I totally catastrophize things. I think a certain aspect of it is like motivational. Like if I'm like, the world is falling apart, you have to figure it out. Like you have to figure something out because you're you're gonna lose your house, you're gonna lose all your cars, your kids are gonna take it from you, everything's gonna be the worst
Yes.
if you don't get it together. And so, like, to a certain extent of that, but it's also not healthy, you know, to like purposefully, subconsciously put yourself under that level of stress.
It's similar to like self-deprecating humor, but on fucking steroids.
Right. And so, like, I think for the workout thing, it works really good, you know, to be like, you're a piece of shit, get it together. Like, that's
fucking
very
beat
motivational.
the shit out of yourself.
Yeah, but for life stuff, it can be very stressful to be that intense on it. And Dan said something really nice when I was talking about it, and he was like, you know, like, we'll help you out, we'll fucking whatever, like, you know, all the stuff. And he was like, you know, we don't want to be like just your bosses, you know. He was like, we like, you know, it's like we are friends with you, like, even though we're older, like, it's like, in, you know, with this stuff like this, we want to help you out more than that and try and like be like a parent, you know, because everybody deserves parents, you know. He's you know, he's very calculated with his language, you know,
very much
Daniel
so.
is. And so
He thinks a lot before he talks.
Yeah. So I know he's saying this because he knows I don't have any fucking parents. And so I was like, you know, Dan, I appreciate that because I could use one.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, yeah. He was like, and so it's
similar things on like the father figure stuff.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah. Yeah. Him and Tim. They both. Oof. Yeah. They're good people.
Yeah.
Can we pause? I have to pee so bad.
I think we can call it. We're at 2 hours. Yeah, I think we can. So, unless you have anything else that you wanted to get out today.
Negative, sir. I mean, we'll do it again. This is a nice thing. It's like I always feel like we just scratch the surface with anything that we do, and this is the first family episode. So this is good because there's so much more.
Yeah,
so much more.
So with that, guys, we'll see you next time. This will be I think this like the first. We don't have a proper name for it yet, but like, you know,
I'm stealing AYG stuff.
Yeah,
that's family episode for now.
Family episode in the family room. There's all kinds of different things that we'll come up with. So we'll see you guys next time. Stay strong. I think that's the tagline I had for the first one.
Yeah, I like it. Stay strong.
See you guys. Peace.